Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Stuart, I have a question. Bob Sink.
Yes, Bob.
What brings me happiness is fresh fruit and a bowl of ice cream. Can you, you have spoken a lot about the happiness from the inner work. Can you explain more the difference between the two?
You know, one is fleeting, transient, comes and it goes. The internal work is something when you get the chakra system open and the heart can stay open, it's not a fleeting thing. It's not a transient thing. It's something that really is permanently rooted inside you. And you attain literally, you know, what they call a state of ananda, which is this joy and love, but it's there all the time. External stimuli are transient. You know, somebody wins the $1 billion lotto, and for the first 2 weeks, they're very happy. And then when they got to figure out what to do with all that money, it becomes a lot of tension, you know? And that basically is all external stimulus does. It creates a sensation, it creates a moment of happiness. You know, falling in love with somebody creates a wonderful moment of joy. Sustaining a relationship is really hard work. So the development of a chakra system and the opening of the heart and the ability to keep the heart open is not transient. It's a permanent state of being. No matter what you're doing in life, no matter what is happening in the world and around you, and the good, the bad, the ugly and the indifferent, it's all not relevant to us staying open. What's relevant to us staying open is building a system inside that enables us to do it. Because if there's good, there's going to be bad. If there's right, there's going to be wrong. It's how energy manifests on the earth, because most energy manifests here because it's a projection of the mind. And the mind sees everything in terms of polarity. So there's always the negative and the positive that's manifesting around us. We take a lot of joy in the positive, good things happen, we're very negative things happen and we get crippled inside. Now, the whole purpose of doing deep meditation practice is to build a system where you don't get crippled inside, emotionally, mentally, physically, because you have developed a system inside that's capable of dealing with whatever life brings you. So there's a very big difference. As I say, one is the external world is transient. The internal world is a permanent state of being when it's developed, on that level. I mean, I know what you did. I mean, Jan brought me some pears from his tree, and boy, they're delicious. I bite into them and it tickles my whole inside and really open its lightness of being, but then you finish eating it. And then there's the next thing that takes place, and the next thing. And some of it is very positive and some of it is not so positive, but we have to learn to deal with it without allowing it to eat us alive inside. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Bob. It's a good question, important question. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? we live in a transient world. Understand? But there's a blindness in every human being. We think, that everyone else, it's for everyone else, not us. There's this whole thing in us that is impossible to really deal with the future and what life brings us. And the only way I learned to be able to deal with the unknown, the future, whatever, is to build a system inside that lives in the moment. Doesn't live in the future, the great things that I used to when I was younger. I had all these visions of the great things that, comes and it goes. What's real is living in the moment, whatever it brings. You're able to find joy in it and God's teachings in it. And it's why it's good to have a life that interacts with a lot of people. And, it's a life that many people avoid. It's threatening, it's this, it's that, but it also brings a great deal of teaching, what we need to learn as human beings to grow. I would suspect that even Rudy told me this once, that all these, these Nagababas that live in the forests and the deserts, and, I can't imagine what kind of life they had in their last lifetime. I think one of the most powerful Rinpoches I ever met was some guy I met in China. And this guy was really interesting. I was told that he was the modern day incarnation of Padmasambhava, this guy. And I said, oh yeah, and I met him and he was absolutely the opposite of anything you'd ever imagine that Padmasambhava was, who brought Buddhism from India to Tibet. And, but then I did an exercise with him and I really went back deep into and he was a manifestation of that kind of energy in the world today. And he told me he didn't believe in Buddhism. He didn't believe in being religious, spiritual, but he said, my responsibility and having been born and made into a Rinpoche is to take care of all the monasteries in Tibet and China. And he single-handedly supported 600 monasteries, this guy. And yet he never believed in Tibetan Buddhism. It was an amazing being when you think about it, But he said, this is what God wants me to do. I will do it. And he did it. He supported hundreds of monasteries, financially and in many other ways. I used to go out to nightclubs and boogie until 6 o'clock in the morning. It was unbelievable, But he was kind of a remarkable guy that he could look past prejudice, say, here's my job. This is my karma. I am a Rinpoche. This is what God wants me to do. I will do it. I don't have to even believe in it. I'm really bringing this up because the one-pointedness in the development of a spiritual life is essential. The one-pointedness in doing the meditation that Rudy bequeathed to us all is essential. Having a vision of what your life, is, and working at it, and not, finding excuses not to do it. Even that guy, this is my job. This is what I'll do. And living in the moment, the responsibility of what one has to do to work out their karma, living in the moment. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay. Just have one, I hope you all are, I keep bringing this up, but I'm enjoying this so much. I would love to share it with you. And I hope you all are going to my website and reading these things I'm putting up there. Also, it's becoming a very wonderful kind of pictures of Tibetan art, Indian art, and like a museum quality stuff that I've been posting. And I think you'll enjoy it, and Bob Sink did a wonderful job of making it simple and clear and easy and absolutely at your fingertips to all these talks that I give and things that I've written, and find out more about me. Does anyone else have a question? Okay. Well, thank you. And I always end like this, but I'll end again, that every single one of you is my teacher. Every single one of you gives me an opportunity to grow and to develop my life by making a connection with you. I once heard Rudy, he once told me there are no bad students, there are only lousy teachers. If you're a great teacher, you can really touch something in anyone who comes to study with you, that will enable them to grow and develop consciously and have a spiritual life. So God bless you all. I have a lot of respect for people that attend these classes. I think they're not easy. They're classes that reflect really what each and every one of us are. You have to, if you attend these classes in a real way, then you have to take a really good look in the mirror at exactly who you are, what your life is, what you do, and I think that's wonderful. And I think that kind of reflection makes me work really deep on myself. Everybody here is unique. Everybody here has something to teach. Everybody here, makes it wonderful for me to be here. So God bless you all and thank you. There'll be a class tomorrow evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank
You're
you. Stuart.
welcome.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Have a good evening.
You too.